This is Olga from the Toy Dolls.
This is Ronan, the Toy Dolls biographer. Welcome to the Toy Dolls LPs.
Right, Olga, today we're going to be talking about Wakey Wakey from 1989. Now, by the time of Wakey Wakey, the band had been going for 10 years, and the lineup had now consisted of you, Marty and KC.
That's right.
Which for a long time was a lot of people's favourite trio in terms of how you gelled musically. Would you agree with that at that time?
I would, actually. Yeah, I think that was a very, very strong lineup. One of the top lineups that we've had with KC and Marty worked really well together. For some reason, just all gelled perfectly.
It just happened that way.
Yeah, good unit. Yeah,
that's good. And on Wakey Wakey, you're generally happy with the songs on the album, not so much with the recording and the production.
No, not really.
Is there anything specific you can put your finger on there that might have let you down? Yeah,
again, it was the use of pedals at the time. It's like distorted guitar was too overdriven, and just the dynamics of the album they weren't that strong. There's not enough depth in it. But I think some of the songs are nice.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And speaking of the songs, Chuck Berry made a welcome appearance with No Particular Place to Go. Was it time for a return to some of the older songs, like sort of rock and roll songs you used to play live in the olden days? Or was it just this particular song?
I did. Yeah, I've always liked the song and Chuck Berry. I think to be quite honest with you, I'll be honest about this. Usually, I put the cover versions on when you've never had enough time to write enough songs, or it would be short on songs. That's usually. There's only been 2 or 3 cover versions which I've had planned a long time before the album, and I think we're just a bit short on the song. So I just thought the idea of singing "To Go There's No Particular Place" instead of "There's No Particular Place to Go." I thought that would kind of work with that
well as a concept.
But still, it was almost a last minute thing.
That's interesting, yeah. And Saber Dance, I've got to say, is genius as an inclusion there.
We did plan that for the album. Yeah,
and that shows off your guitar playing to great effect, and also the drumming is very, very tidy on it too. Yeah. Both on the album and when you played it live. How do you feel this song now? We haven't played that one for a while, but I really like it, and I think that version is good as well. It is hard work. I suppose the drumming's. I think. We might play that one again, to be honest. I still like it. Worth a revisit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that wasn't a last minute decision. That was decided to be on the album, because I thought I could do like a version of it that would be Toy Dolls E5.
That's good. I had a question about Cluffy as a boot boy from Wakey Wakey. This is a nice, memorable hook in the chorus with the Brian bit. And I was wondering, when you come up with something particularly catchy like that, whether you envisage it or maybe plan it specifically as something that will work well live.
Well, I mean, more recently, over the last few years, over the last decade, I think, we've thought more about songs, making songs that we record that we could actually do live. In the early days, early on, years and years, decades ago, I didn't worry about that so much, but in which case we never played half the songs live because it's impossible to do. But I mean, that one in particular wasn't written for to do live. It just always happened to be like an easy one to write and an easy one to do live. So it worked out.
As long as Duncan remembers his whistle, that's the bit.
Exactly.
There's also some nice examples on this album of songs that are based on reality but wildly exaggerated for dramatic effect. We've got Potbelly Bill and The Blaze of the Borough. Yeah. So that must take a bit of sorting out. I'm wondering about this dramatising in your songs.
Yeah,
are you fond of that?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be melodramatic, really, in songwriting and book writing or anything, just to make it larger than life. I mean, if you watch films or dramas on the television, it'll say based on the fact, and it'll say some scenes are altered, for the entertainment and that. So it is like that a lot of times, but sometimes they're actually played down. I think you have got to be melodramatic, and I think it is a conscious thing that I do. Yeah,
okay. I also wanted to ask about there's a trollop up Elmwood Street.
Yeah.
I was struck then listening to that by the use you make of synonyms, different ways of saying the same thing.
That wasn't being melodramatic.
No, absolutely. I know that you work with a thesaurus.
I'll get you the number, by the way.
All right, very much so. I think you shall be getting on in years now, but always worth a hook up. You work with a thesaurus and also a rhyming dictionary. You work in quiet locations around, at the moment, around London.
Yeah.
But could you say a few words on how much work the rhyming involves? Finding the right synonyms, the right, using trollop was a really old-fashioned. I think you said once it's a word your mum might
I use a lot of words that my mother used to use, like scullery rather than kitchen and things like that. I like those old-fashioned words, and I do spend a lot of time on them.
And the rhymes and the half rhymes and all that stuff here.
Yeah, I think rhyming like the one syllable of a word with another word.
I went up the path up to the calf.
Exactly. Took words out of my mouth. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like all that kind of thing. It sounds like there's a lot of thought gone into the actual lyrics rather than, I don't like repeating the same word twice in the song, even though I have done. Sometimes, I've heard hit singles with words that don't actually rhyme perfectly, but and they've sold 50 billion and that, but there you go, that's them.
That's the way it works out.
Yeah.
A question about the artwork on Wakey Wakey album. It conjures up images of reminding people about the existence and power of the toy dolls, with the your beloved Marshall equipment in the background. Can you remember who did the artwork and what inspired it?
Yeah, it was my brother, only.
And did that?
Well, he's a painter and decorator at the time, but he's also really good at doing bits of artwork like that. So I asked him, I give him the rough idea. I can't draw at all, so I would just have to write down. It's just like me popping out of bed and Marty and Casey there, just some amplifiers and a rough idea, and then he come up with the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's his actual artwork that I used. Yeah.
And speaking of your amp and your speakers, guitarists watching this might be interested to hear your thoughts on the combination you've stuck with, and you've stuck with faithfully over the years there.
Yeah.
What is it about the sound you can achieve through your Marshall kit that suits you so well? I
think what I use is it's a Marshall 4x12 1960 AV cabinet with a Marshall 100 watt 2203 JCM 800 amplifier.
I knew that.
All right. right. And with the Telecaster with a Seymour Duncan pickup. I think with that particular amplifier and that setup, you've really got to work at like a Telecaster and the JCM 800 2203 especially. You've really got to work. It's not just like a processed sound, and the guitar's not like a Jackson or a Charvel where it automatically plays itself on, like you just have to touch the strings. With Telecaster and that, you really got to work hard at it. And it's the same with the amp, and it gives I think that particular setup has like a not too overdriven sound. I think when you play the strings quietly, they sound like the guitar's getting played quietly. Yeah, to get any distortion, you've really got to play hard. It's not just distortion from the start, playing it quietly. I think that's why I like that setup.
Right. It suits you and you've stuck with it. Yeah. A fan question comes in, which is, of all the songs you've written, which one can you remember was the fastest to write and which took the longest? Maybe an example of each.
Well, exactly. Dougie Gyro was really fast to write. Yeah, very fast, and it's one of the better ones. We still play it live now. And songs that took the longest. There's quite a few because it's usually the bad ones. I think Come Back Jackie, I think I took a long time to write, and it's not very good at all. But that's me.
Just the look of the draw, isn't it? All right. One last question, Olga, on the time of Wakey Wakey rather than Wakey Wakey itself. This was also when 10 Years of Toys came out, which was obviously the 10-year anniversary there. Can you give us a few thoughts on what you reckon about compilations generally, and also how happy or otherwise you've been with the various Toy Dolls compilations that have come out over the years?
Well, we've had lots of different record companies, and they sell the rights to other companies, and it's the rights and the licenses to them and to them. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. I think it's all right to have a best of sorts now and again, but not too many of them, because here we go again. Here's another best of, and another best of, and another best of. So
another bleeding best of. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Because that record company sold the rights to them and them and them and down the line, so you've got nothing to do with it. But I think occasionally it's all right.
Yeah. And that particular one, 10 years, you're happy with that on your shelf?
Yeah. We used a drum machine on that. Well, that was the only thing I don't like about that. But that's a different story.
Yeah, we'll chat about that another day.
Yeah.
Olga, thanks for talking to me about Wakey Wakey.
Thank you.